Will believers be forced to stop praying in the jury box? Well, we're going to find out. We're going to talk a little bit about that right now. This is my news article from Jordan Sekulow. That's Jay Sekulow's son. And it is located, I got this from Charisma News, but here it is. This is a case involving fundamental tenets of what it means to be a U.S. citizen and fundamental beliefs of Christians and many other religious faiths. Fundamental to American civics is the right of citizens to vote. And often with that right comes the responsibility of serving in a jury. And that's very critical for protection. We are all afforded to having a jury of our peers. And my peers would be people of faith, let me tell you. Anyway, so this is fundamental to Christianity, and many faiths is prayer. We pray. That is what we're supposed to do. That is the foundation of what we're supposed to do. It's our communication, because prayer is communing between God and man. But this article says, but in this case, a juror was disqualified over prayer. Over prayer. So let's continue. The American Center for Law and Justice just filed an amicus curiae brief in a federal court of appeals defending the right of American citizens to exercise their religious freedom, in this case, prayer, while serving as a juror. In 2017, a U.S. district court in Florida removed and replaced a juror because of his religious beliefs. During the course of the jury deliberations, the juror, number 13, mentioned his prayer for guidance about the case to his fellow jurors. His statements were misconstrued by a fellow juror who reported his statements, leading to the court to question him. Well, the juror told the court repeatedly that he had no religious or moral beliefs that would prevent him from rendering a proper verdict. The court ultimately decided to remove and replace him. This is what they said. Beyond a reasonable doubt, that there was no substantial possibility that Juror 13 would be able to base his decision only on the evidence as law as the court gave it to him in the instructions, because he prayed to God. So therefore, it would be influenced, and he could not render a decision only based on the evidence. Because by definition, it's not the person praying for guidance so that the person can be enlightened. It's that the higher being or the Holy Spirit is directing or telling the person what disposition of the charges should be made. That's what they said. Wow. Anyway, the court's reasoning clearly shows a complete misunderstanding of the Christian faith and belief in prayer. The court should not have reached such a conclusion at all. But the court dismissed the juror on appeal. A panel of judges in the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals upheld the district court's erroneous decisions in spite of a well-written dissent by Chief Judge William Pryor. The defendant in the case requested and was granted an in-bank hearing of the 11th Circuit Court. That means that the case will be heard before the 11th Circuit entire bench of 12 judges. Sekulow's brief details the in-bank court several reasons that the panel majority and lower court's decisions violate constitutionally protected rights, and why they should be overturned, as Chief Judge Pryor explained in his dissent. Sekulow in his brief said the protection afforded religious belief and the exercise thereof by the First Amendment certainly extend to a juror exercising his religious belief in the power of prayer for wisdom and insight, while fulfilling his civic duty and right as a juror. The decision like this one with this kinds of far-reaching implications cannot and must not be taken lightly or made in a vacuum. It tears the foundation of our society and feeds the divisiveness of our times. The idea that receiving an answer to prayer could disqualify a person from civic duty flies in the very face of the ideas and principles our founders enshrined in our nation's founding documents. To the contrary, our founders did not. And the vast majority of people today do not believe that it is disqualifying when politicians or other people, public figures, invoke God's guidance. For example, it's okay when Martin Luther King Jr.'s did it. He said, "It seems as though I could hear the quiet assurance of an inner voice saying, 'Stand up for justice, stand up for truth, and God will be at your side forever.' Almost at once, my fears began to go and my uncertainty disappeared. I was ready to face everything." Yeah, that's just one example. So when other people say they've prayed, and that's okay, but not in the legal system. Wow, that's messed up. Anyway, the article goes on to say, as we point out to the court, the panel majority's decision, if it's allowed to stand, everyone would be free to pray for God to help them or reach the right decision. But if a person believes that God answers the prayer, they are no longer fit to serve. So pray. But if you believe God answers prayer, you're disqualified. Wow, that's messed up, folks. The article says the panel's holding is deeply inconsistent with settled First Amendment law as expressed in the Supreme Court precedent. Moreover, the panel's decision effectively creates a flawed and even dangerous precedent that may lead to the disenfranchisement and exclusion of millions of citizens from a monumentally important institution in the United States system of government and the carefully protected checks on the government, the jury. First Amendment protections of religious freedom, if the panel majority and the lower court's rationale are not corrected, Americans who pray and who truly believe in the power of prayer will be removed from serving on juries. Folks, this article was actually, I'll put it in chat in just a moment. It was given on 12/11 of 2020. And like I said, it is from Jordan Sekulow. Guys, pay attention, they're stripping away everything that we're supposed to be. We know in the end times that's going to happen, but we still need to fight back. Know our constitutional rights, just as Mark said. Mark, why don't you jump back in here? This article would fit right into, well, I mean, not into your show, but it's definitely a constitutional article. So I don't hear you.
The biggest issue to me is recognizing the changes day to day, the different things. It's almost as though, and I hope somebody is because I'm not, but keeping track every day of new things that we find that is being changed here in the United States from the way we knew it before. Yesterday, I can't think of her name, Messianic, probably shouldn't say her name anyway, but a Messianic singing artist who we both know on Facebook, I think, somewhere. She posted that she was at the grocery store yesterday, and as soon as she got out of the grocery store and got in her car, there was a local station that was on her radio, and she heard them give out a number that somebody can call if they find a business that is violating the governor's mandate for COVID.
Well, that's ridiculous, but I have news for that. John's been at meetings this week, a constitutional meeting, not last week actually. And we are actually wearing badges now that have the First Amendment on them. And legally, because this is not a statute, they cannot make and say those things. Man, it's over there. I wish I could run get it real quick. But it says the First Amendment, and it says if this business or if this person will not allow me in this store, we will leave, but you will be served with a $75,000 lawsuit. First offense. The second one's $150,000. And we actually have lawyers here that are ready. And I don't think here in Amarillo, I believe that are ready to take these cases. And they are hoping that businesses will do this so that it can go to the Supreme Court. But John now wears a badge that literally says that into every place because he won't wear a mask and he won't do it. And it's not the business's duty to enforce law. That is not who they are. That's unconstitutional. It's violating their rights too. And he's also got papers to help every business that won't do that, et cetera, et cetera. guys, what I'm saying is go to the meetings, find out if there's groups and organizations around that will help support you, because right now we're handing those out to every one of our people that says, because people don't know their constitutional rights. They don't know what it says. So they assume when when mandates or things come out that are unconstitutional, they go with it, ignorant of what the truth is. And so John went to these meetings last week. He came out so informed and so full of documentation and answers and ways to fight back. And you know what? It would work in your state too, not just in Texas. I guarantee it. So
can you run over and get that? I'll sit here and talk to the people.
Let me black myself
but
out.
I'd also like for you to send me one in the mail or any of that.
Okay,
that you
we
like.
ordered a whole bunch.
What's that?
Ordered a whole bunch, and
Okay.
we bought and ordered a whole bunch of those. So I'll send you one. But hold on a second. You talk for a second. I'll get it.
Okay. Hi, this is Mark Davis Smith. No, what she's saying is so true. And like I said, I hope somebody is documenting from this past year. And I know there are a lot of people that do keep track of what happens, in history. And I hope that somebody is keeping a list of things that have changed over this past year that has to do with our rights. Because literally that's mostly what Sandi and I are talking about here on the show is our rights to as citizens of the United States of America, and what we can do and how we can do it, and what has happened to us, concerning those rights. So,
all right, guys, here's the one side of this badge that you wear it all the time. If you're out, I'll read it. It says First Amendment. First Amendment, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abrogating the freedom of speech or the press or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. Now, here's the other side.
Yeah, we can read.
Okay. Here's what it says. Wearing a face mask poses a serious health risk to me. Under the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, HIPAA, I am not required to disclose my medical conditions to you. I am exempt from any local or state regulation mandating face mask usage in public. The Americans with Disability Act provides that organizations and businesses can be fined up to $75,000 for the first violation and $150,000 for any subsequent violation. Please provide the necessary consideration to aid the bearer in the unimpeded exercise of their legal and constitutional right. Citizensforfreespeech.org. Now, this not only happens, they have papers I have papers that you go ahead and give them if they deny you that right. They also provided this. This is a pamphlet from citizensforfreespeech.org. So that's not a Texas thing. This is a national thing. But it says face masks pose serious health risks to the healthy. And it goes on it's from a doctor, and he explains it all. So we ordered a whole bunch of these to pass out to businesses they need informed. But in this, we also received the paperwork to file the lawsuits, by the way. So this is not just Texas, this is nationally. And if people stop you from exercising your rights, and it goes further, it also aids businesses too. But we received all of this, and I will send you what I have, Mark, and then you.
What citizens? What?
Citizensforfreespeech.org.
Okay. Or I'm going to try to get that up so that we can put it in for Citizens for Free Speech.org. And then I'll put that. There we go.
But when I go around town,
it changes. Wait, hold up. No, that's not it. I typed something wrong in there. Okay, I'll look it up and we'll see.
I'll see if I can type it in too. But guys, you have rights and you need to know them. And there are people actually out there ready to take this to wherever it needs to go. But we have to stand up for our rights. That means we don't act like the drones. I want to remind drones and mindlessly do what the people threaten and say. Because if you remember, we are in the middle of Hanukkah, and I'm sure it was on the show, on the conference. But I want to remind you that the enemy of the Maccabees was not only those with the weapons, it was the people who acquiesced in the society that were Jewish people. They also became the enemy of God and the Maccabees. And that's why we cannot be a people that just mindlessly goes in and says, okay, I will do what you say. I will not look at what rights I have, because I am simply, really, if they tell you to go jump off a mountain or into the lake, are you going to do it? Well, it's the same concept that we've heard since we were kids. If your friends told you to go do that, would you do it? Well, when this government has gone astray, it actually tells us we're supposed to rise up. We're supposed to rise up. And guys, it's time to rise up. Make your voice known. Stand up. Yeah, you may be a little bit of a scene. Does that really matter? No. Do you think it was a scene when people stood up to the King James? Absolutely. And the soldiers? Do you think it's a scene when people have stood up for truth the rest of their life? Yeah, there was. Get over yourself. You don't matter anyway. Who is this whole walk about? We say we're truth seekers and that we want to live the truth. Well, folks, this is truth too.
Amen. Very true. Very true. There we go. Okay, so I just put that in there, and there's the, you'll take a look at that later. Thanks, Sandy. A millionfold. Real interested in this, because I would like to have all that information. So
yes.
Pretty cool. But if you could send us, if you have an extra one of those tags, you could send us, and any other information that John found when he was at whatever meeting he was at, that would be good.
I will do that. I will send you all the documents. You're going to get probably manila envelope.
Yeah, that's cool.
Because it will have the paper that you present the business or the person that's going to get sued. Right. It will have your rights. It has the Constitution, all of it. It's right there. So I'll send it all to you.
Also, I mean, while we're on the subject, there's a new movie out called Songbird, and I don't know. It's not really on DVD or on demand out in public until January 12th. But it's about COVID-23. So it's a few years in the future, and COVID has it's a movie. So COVID has mutated, and it's trying to show what they think is going to happen within, I think, the next 4 or 5 years, fourth year. So in other words, in about 4 years from now, it's what they depict, and it's pretty heavy. Somebody has really gone into, thinking it out and thinking about what, it might be in the next 4 years. And so I'm going to check that out, of course, when it comes around.
Well, I'm interested in that. I know John will be. Yeah. I may have him. If it's super heavy, I'll probably have him watch it and let me know.
It's not. I watched the trailer to it yesterday.
Okay.
It's not super heavy, but it's interesting what these people have thought out based on what's going on right now and what could possibly happen in the next 4 years. So anyway, I'm pretty sure it's anti-COVID and everything the government's doing. But anyway, hopefully. That's something. So you can look it up, the trailer for Songbird, but I'll send you the link.
Okay, sounds good to me. Bob Hall reminds us it's predictive programming.
I'm kind of with you. Lately, you've kind of steered away from the COVID stuff and the election stuff and all that kind of thing. And I'm with you. I get overwhelmed by all that. And there's other things going on in this world besides that. So it's good to cover that. But every once in a while, when something heavy comes up, you need to talk about it. So,
well, that's true. And everybody else is probably given that stuff. And it's hard. I'll be honest. It's hard to find a non-political, non-COVID news piece out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have to search.
I agree. What I was talking about, the hearing on the radio about giving out a phone number to report businesses. Wow. I mean, I don't know why I'm surprised. Honestly, I don't know why I'm surprised that that's the way it is, but it is. And
it's wrong. Hey, and if you own a business, or if you are a person that considering this, don't do that. That's wrong. In fact, let's go back to the word and see what the word says about it. Let's go back to Noach and Ham, Shem, and Japheth. What? Now, and also remember that it's against the Constitution what they're doing. And did God make you to look like this? Or no? If God wanted you to have your nose and your breath covered your mouth, then he would have made you that way. He did not. That is not how you're supposed to function optimally, for a reason. So there's one thing. But also, let's remember what Ham did. Ham exposed Noach, a believer, one who says a person of faith that walks according to the word will never expose their brother. They will cover their brother. There you go.
Very good. Very good. Very good. I like it a lot. So
that's all I got to say about that.
For now.
Well, for a few minutes. But, well, I mean, you may have some more to say. I mean, this is all.
No, I don't.
Too, and
I don't. Because I learn about everything I know from you guys, so I don't have anything new to add.
We are richly blessed to bring you what we believe is the fullest, most diverse, yet up-to-date progressive teachings, discussion, and prayer programming you can find anywhere on this planet. Be sure to take the tour of the MessianicLambRadio.com website. I'm Susan Hoogie, thanking you for joining us on the Messianic Lamb Video Network.